Right, hello everybody, welcome to your Sunday evening's entertainment. Some of you, like me, will have already been up since 4 AM to watch the Formula 1. I had a little nap prior to then, but if you catch me yawning, please don't judge. I'm trying my absolute best. I am here by myself tonight. I'm Greg, otherwise known as the Wufafa in the server, and tonight we bring you FRL's SimNet Super Sprint Sunday Season 20 Round 5. And as you can see, we are at a very winterized Silverstone this evening. We're just a few minutes out from our qualifying format, which is going to give me just enough time to run you through what we're going to do and obviously where we're coming from with the results. So I'll just bring up on the screen. Tonight we are just finishing our hour's practice and then we're going to go into qualifying. Not just any qualifying though, it is a 15-minute one-shot quali. Now what is a 15-minute one-shot quali? It means they can go out whenever they want, out lap, push lap, and then an in lap if they choose to do one. What they cannot do is do an out lap, an aborted or invalidated lap, and then try again for their lap. If they invalidate, sorry, that is tough. In you go, you're starting from the back. But while we are waiting for some cars to start their qualifying laps, I'm going to as quickly as I can run through these standings. So for the Pro Tier, which are the white boxes to your left, they are headed off by the man currently in P1, Jared Vermeulen, who sits on 90 points, followed by Morgan Grace, second on 69 points. We've got Adam Sharp, third on 66 points. On equal points is Wouter Heymans, and then just slide down, Jay Wazzer in P5 with 64 points. Vaclav Popsil with 63 points in P6. Andrew Eden on 61 in P7. Josh Clayton on 59 in P8. Gordon Brown in P9 with 59 points. Paul Vidler in P10 with 38 points. Johnny Sharp with 33 points in P11. Jake Handley in P12 with 31 points. And Mr. Overtaker in P13 and last position in the Pro Tier with 25 points. We now move on to the Silver Tier, which is your grey boxes to the left-hand side. They are currently headed by Desire, who's been a great addition to the league so far. We've got Lee Colpitts in P2 on 75 points from Desire's 82. We've got Reinhard Serpentine in P3 with 74 points. Maximilian Besler, he's in P4 with 73 points. In P5 we've got Marco Lino with 71 points. Serafino Gibino in P6 with 68 points. We've got Luke Richings in P7 with 67 points. Alexander Klugin in P8 with 63 points. Michael van der Waal in P9 with 48 points. Chris Gedman, one of our admins here, P10 with 36 points. Jordan Marshall in P11 with 29 points. Maximilian Wormweg is in P12 with 17 points. We have Jack Barnett and Matthew Dunn, who are the bottom end of the championship. We now go to the AM tier, which are the red boxes to your left-hand side. And they are headed up by Jamie Thacker in first place with 69 points. And we've got Dale Keller in P2 with 67 points. DeFaze in P3 with 66 points. Trevor Mendez in P4 with 65 points. Dazza Townsend in P5 with 63 points. Michael Coppins in P6 with 61 points. Dreadlock Steve in P7 with 60 points. Vian Kruger in P8 with 57 points. Nicky Vietz in P9 with 55. Gerrit Smets in P10 with 44 points. Miguel Silva in 11th with 44 points. Then we have Darren Mark Davis in P12 with 41 points. Paulo Flores in P13 with 30 points. Danny Felix in P14 with 26 points. We've got Jochen Vereth in P15 with 20 points. And Paul Trotman last with some minus points in P20. So that concludes obviously our positions for the championship, and we are currently headed into our sprint qualifying. The man leading the way and has been imperious as always is Jared Vermeulen. Now that's interesting. He's gone wide on that turn. No, that's just the Formula 1 start line, so I apologise. I just realised that my book isn't going to be any help because the corner numbers are completely different. So I'm going to try and have to remember the corner names as I go, regardless. So yeah, Jared Vermeulen just got a few more points navigating on his lap. Now towards the end of the session it will begin to dry off. We are currently on a damp track and we'll wait to see how that begins to affect play. We're going to get slightly heavy in the middle and then dry off, but that might equalise the session as a lot of water to be cleared even if the rain stops falling. So if you are new to the channel, if you're new to FRL, if you're new to watching us on the Sunday evening, do make sure you like, subscribe and hit that notification bell to make sure you don't miss any of the action that FRL has to provide. And if you're already part of the Discord community, do consider joining the Patreon. It just starts at £3 a month. That's 10p a day and it gets you loads of extra little perks as well as supporting the wonderful stuff that FRL does for you, sim racing at its very best. It gets you your reserve race number, gets you access to your own private Patreon server and early access into all FRL's events. So it's a tiered system, so the higher you go, the more you put in, the more you get back out of it. And obviously we wouldn't be here without our wonderful sponsor, which is SimNet, provider of high quality sim racing equipment. Do make sure you check out them on the net and obviously upgrade your setup as you wish. So we've got Vermeulen just going around the middle part of the lap now, which is what I'm going to remember back because I do think it still have the corner names. So it's quite confusing that Vermeulen has chosen to go out quite early this time, considering the weather could possibly improve, and it doesn't look at this point it's going to get any worse. So as he goes through the approach, down through Village, the cars have a tendency to wash out here, but he's kept that nice and tight. Now we'll go through the loop. So it's an absolute crucial acceleration zone here. Don't let the rear wash out. You don't want to collect the car before you then flatten your foot. It's pretty flat through here, even in the wet. Be sure to use all of the curbing on the outside. I was going to dive through Luffield, or Brooklands then Luffield. There's a reserve driver in here tonight. He used to be my former co-commentator, Mr. Owen Harris. He'll be kicking me and cursing me for getting any of these corner names wrong. He absolutely sweats this place, as you can tell by the amount of perspiration on the track. That's all him. And across the line, Vermeulen goes and sets the early pace of a 2:07. Now we are expecting potential track improvements towards the end, and the heavy shower does seem to begin to have dissipated. And we have Surf and Taint are coming across the line now. I hope you can appreciate without a spotter, it's going to be quite difficult for me to keep a track of this evening. We've got Jay Barnett. I think he's just starting his lap. And we've had Morgan Grace and Surf and Taint come across the line as well. So Vermeulen already beaten actually by one of the AM drivers of Coppen, so that's a turn of the books. Must have absolutely aced his lap. We've got Chris Gedman mixing it as well. So this is already appearing a very, very mixed session. I'm going to try and stay on top of the action about Jay Handley. A lot of straights on this track, but what can he do? That's a beautiful livery on that Mustang. And towards the line, where does he go? P5. So yeah, real smattering of results. We've got about car number 35 approaching the line. Oh, we've lost him. Car 35 was Smet, so my apologies. And Mornweg, previous leader from reverse grid, and then beaten by Johnny Sharp into the 206s. And coming towards the line, we've got Cherry Moore. So we've got a lot of other people coming towards the line as well. That's Wheats puts himself up into P3, leading the AM tier. What can Cherry Moore do? Takes a short route to the line. Goes P10, bit disconnected from the currently formed AM group. Andrew Eden in that Demon of Alexis puts himself P4. Let's see who else we can pick out. What car number 31? I think they're just having an in lap. Or have I completely missed them? there a ghost car? For the life of me, I can't see 31. So I tell you what, we'll do. We'll go to 985. No, 998 of Alpha Dowie, who was showing very well in practice. He was actually within a few tenths of Emulan even in the dry. So good opportunity here for him to lead this away. Doesn't make it. He's ahead of Emulan though. But we do have a pro leading the way, which is usually how it goes. What about car 104? That's Luke Richings in that Prink Ferrari. As he rounds the final corner of Luffield, heads towards the line. But he's just starting his lap. So we're going to jump back to car 334. Who's Klugen? No, we're not going to go to him. He has already set a lap. What about car 44? And that's Kruger. Just coming around the loop now. Do we happen to have a clutch of any particular kind of car at the top? Yes, we do. It is a Ferrari. So seemingly at least Kruger is in the preferred car. Does he have the preferred setup for these sorts of conditions? As the track has now gone from damp to wet, so completely suboptimal positions for him to be setting this lap. Lots of cars in now. Majority of the pack have finished their laps and are now sat in the pits waiting to see if anybody will hang it all the way out and wait for the potential dry conditions at the end. And does Kruger set that lap? No. Car 89, this is Kelleher. Also about to come round the loop. Another man in the Ferrari. With a, I want to say, very Lewis Hamilton-like livery. With the purple, the gold. Ah, Vermeulen. Your talent can only take you so far, buddy. You have to choose the right weather as well. Joe Vermeulen is many things, seemingly not a weatherman. But here we go, across the line we go. Of Kelleher. Tighter line. And no lap to be set. So we go back to car 104 of Richings. And where does he go? Very respectful time from Richings, up into P8. As the track definitely looks, it's definitely stopped raining. But with it having rain when Kruger was going round on his outlap, does that mean his tyres are warming up as the lap progresses? As he gets very heavily on the curb on the outside, so maybe a tendency of understeer through the loop. As we just had somebody else inducted into the top part. I'm going to presume that was Kalugin. Or no, Dunn, sorry. P16. But round the final corner comes Kruger. Car control looks solid. Make sure you clip this inside curb, straighten the line up. There's a bit of a twitch coming towards the line. Goes P20, you can see down there. Car number 5 approaching, this is Clayton. Had a great battle last time out. Just couldn't get the final position. Held off for a long time. But now he's just about to set his lap. Marco Lino. He's setting his lap as well. Like car number 9. This is Dazza Townsend. As he's absolutely revving the socks off that McLaren. No time yet, but just behind. We just missed somebody set their lap. From car 89. So Kelleher, I think, was that? Who just set their time. And Owen Harris, the man who I said is responsible for the dampness on the track, to the sweat that he does around this track, goes P3. Great showing from the amateur driver. With Vasek Popisil coming around Luffield. In the wet conditions, the Porsche should be favoured, one of the best traction cars on the game. But he's just starting his lap. And I can't help but think we're about to get some very fast times from the drivers that held out for the conditions. Is Colpitts starting or finishing a lap? Starting. We did have Clayton starting the lap before, so this should be a time lap now. Some of the Aston does look very feminine, doesn't it? Very nicely done eyes and eyelashes. There's Clayton. We have to score all that at the top because Clayton has smashed the lap time for Johnny Sharp. 0.6 of a second. Waiting for the conditions has served him. There's Lino, who's gone P13. Dunn is still out somewhere. And there's a Townsend. Towards the line he goes. Doesn't need to use the inside curb, he's got plenty of traction. I think we're disappointed with that Townsend. He waited for the better conditions, then he put it P21. About Jabino. He's just starting a lap, so he's starting to get some of the better conditions. Real opportunity for him here. I think Vidler's just starting his lap. I'm going to go on board with Vasek Popisil. So on the final straight, it's sunny out now. So all those drivers that set early lap times are being pushed down by everybody that's waited to the last. So Popisil round Luffield, can he keep it valid? Oh, it was right on the line. It's questionable. We're about to find out if that lap time's valid. It is. And he goes all the way to P5. Now we've got Basler about to come across the line. He's been hurried along behind him by Colpitts. And he goes. No, he's just starting his lap, but Colpitts just set his lap. Where did he go? Colpitts very respectable, P6 for the silver tier. Second in class currently. Jordan Marshall in the Mercedes, great top end speed, great over the curbs, but P20. Go back to Jabino. Now the final few corners should be really simple. Oh! Commentator's curse, not simple at all. Jabino loops it around Luffield. So we now go back to Desdub, who I think just had to wait on the power there a little bit. Has gone a little bit wide at the final turn. Will this make this valid? And goes P3. What a lap! The new man performing well. We go back to Vidler. Tightest line. Vidler goes P2. And now, is this a real task of last across the line? Car 34. No, they're still. They have completed their lap. Car 34 was. I think I'll just say what I see from here on out. So, absolutely crazy qualifying session, even for Sprint Sunday sprint qualifying, one-shot qualifying standards go. So, turn up for the books. Vermeulen nowhere near the front on raw pace because of when he chose to go out. So our leaders are Adam Sharp, Vidler, Clayton, Destub in P4, Johnny Sharp in P5. That's the leading pack for pro drivers. Then with the silver lead, the silver pole lead of Desert, a surprising but not so surprising performance by Owen Harris, who has done more time on this track than all of the tracks combined. And he has split Desert from Lee Colpitts in P8. P9 is Poppersill. Wouter Haymans in P10. Nicky Viets in P11. He's second in the AM tier. We have Andrew Eden, who's for the now at least finds in the top third of the pack, but not too detached from the other pro tier drivers. And we've got Mornweg in P13. P3 in the AM tier of FaZe in P14. Richings in P15. Alpha Dowie, Coppens, Lino, Smets, and then Vermeulen, would you believe it, in P20. So early pace, but then as the track started to come to the drivers, pushed him all the way down. Then we have Alexander Kalugin, P21, Marshall, P22, Cherry Moore, P23, Barnett, P24, Dunn, 25, Mendez, Townsend, Gedman, and then Verif and Kruger round out top 30. And then the remaining drivers who set a lap were Grace, Handy, Kelleher, Serpentine, Thacker, and Davies, with a number of drivers, Junior, Felix, Silver, Basler, Dreadlock Steve, and Trotman, all elected or were not allowed to or invalidated their lap. So they will move to the main feature race, starting from the back. So the pro and Jared Vermeulen, they can't just immediately be overtaken. Drama. They're going to get to fly away and say, come catch me, in only 20 minutes. Now, the sprint format should sound obvious, but I'll reiterate once again, there is no required pit. They are sprinting from start to finish with no obligations to visit their friends in the pit lane. After that is finished, we are going to take a small interlude, watch some highlights, and catch up on that action, and then we're going to go to a 45-minute sprint race, where the same rules apply, but with a longer format. Do excuse me while I try and retain hydrated. It's the first time in a while I've had to do one of these by myself. So, background commentator trying to do my job for me. Rest assured, you'll have my dulcet tones to take you around. If you are in the comments, if you are watching, do let us know. Is there anyone in particular that you are supporting? I'll make sure to give you and them a shout out, spread your support. And obviously, if you're looking to get involved, you can see it's a very full grid here. It's what FRL prides itself on. We're going to provide the best quality racing experiences online for console and PC players. So if you want to get involved, do make sure you drop a comment and show your interest, and then admin will reach out to you with a link to the Discord, and then further on through SimGrid, those sign-ups. Ooh. So not long now, just 40 seconds before lights out. And if you're not familiar with us, this is going to be a rolling start.
30 seconds.
So hopefully we've not had anybody forget to click go, otherwise they'll be reset to the pits. Now Cops is a very interesting corner to start your lap on.
10 seconds.
Rolling a bit less speed, it should be relatively safe. crucially, the track is still reading as greasy. Now, hopefully, with 42 cars rolling around it, maybe, just maybe, they'll create a dry line, a clean line. We are going to stay on board with Adam Sharp for this start. He's going to have the inside line for Cops, but he's going to have to see off Vidler, who's got ultimately the racing line. We have a clean line. Will he immediately go for the cover off? We are 3, 2, 1, go, go, go! Now the Honda is a very peculiar handling beast, but Vidler's going to go straight around the outside into the village, but then he's going to have to continue to defend. And it looks like we're going to go 3 by 3, but no, it looks like Sharp has managed to cut back on Destub, but then looks like Vidler's got all over the curb. Can he maintain it, but a little bit further back? Destub is going to have to defend from Clayton, who's just behind. The Aston Martin, probably the fastest in the group in a straight line. But crucially, Desire right on his gearbox, already swerving out. We got a bit too close. Clayton thinks for a dive. No, he does not. Further gaps down the field. It looks like we've got Wouter Heymans under pressure from Alpha Dowie. A man who, like I said, did very well in the practice, but couldn't seem to make positions up in qualifying. He looks like he tried to go for a move there. A little bit further back. It's Alpha Dowie again, and he has got Jeremy Bermuda's gone past him, but then got Richings trying to go around the outside of him there. And Richings gets pushed off wide, but then has the sensibility to switch back. But then just didn't quite have the speed. The BMW carried speed from offline. And I see Morgan Grace goes side by side, just a bit down on speed it seems. It's got Handley and Townsend gone through. Can he get switched back here? Going to try it round the outside. I think he was partially alongside, which that forced him out wide, and he's lost a bit of ground there. And I believe actually that's Serpentine ahead of him. So we are just waiting for the time screens to update. Ultimately chaotic. We've got car 68 in the pits. That's Marco Lino. Now Grace sitting on the inside, tries to get back on Serpentine. Serpentine dives around the outside, and we've got a car sideways over there. Car beginning with a 3. I'm going to try and work it out for you. Oh, we've got another car around. The Mercedes of Dunn. And still side by side, Grace having all the fun, all the action. Now past Handley. Drama absolutely everywhere you look. Well, Wouter Heymans on Popsill. I see Marshall lining up phase, Silver on Am. Now, what is key to recognise, I didn't mention it before, there is an overall championship, so nobody has any obligation to move over anybody. It might be in their interest to move over, but ultimately they do not have to. Marshall lines it up, but the mob making the move is phase ahead, and he tries to push Richings round. Richings is still there though. Richings takes the faster, wider outside line. But then invites Marshall down the inside as Richings got compromised. Oh, but then they touch! Very optimistic from Marshall there, and then continues to try and fight around. And that's 2 cars having to cut out. The final corner. Not the final corner, that's the F1 layout final corner. As you're handing in the background, sending a cone for a bit of a flight. And this invites, that's Grace coming up behind. And Marshall, oh no, Marshall's hit another one. Oh. I think there might be some penalties coming his way. That's about 3 cars he's affected in the space of a lap. Gaps are settling up ahead. Sharp has retained P2 after losing P1 in the first corner. Oh, and look at this down the back straight. This is Silver trying to make a move on Cherry Moore, but that's invited Dreadlock Steve down the inside. It now becomes the outside. Well, what sort of traction does the Aston Martin have on the outside? I'll tell you, not much. It's got not much in the way of low-end grunt. I'll tell you what, the Aston Martin is committed. Dreadlock Steve trying to go around the outside of Lovefield into the final corner. Oh, there's a bit of a touch. As they now go through Village with the speed of the Aston Martin. Sees now, but he goes off track. Will he give this back? That's Kopp, sorry. And I think he loses 2 positions. He does. And I think Richardson's already ahead, but he's trying to duck and dive and get back to the inside. Maggott, Beckett, Chappell onto the hanger straight, and he's got a much better exit. But crucially, he's found his way to the outside, so you better hope he's got the pace. The McLaren is no slouch. It's not the fastest car in the game by any stretch, but it's not too far from the leaders either. And Silver does a good job of just seeing him off at the apex. Oh, as we've just gone to Barnett, the commentator flicks on and round he goes. But does that recover, and he's quite damaged though. You might want to consider pitting for that. You know, everybody loves catching a bit of Vermeulen magic. And from P20, within 3 laps, sorry, he's already up to P10. He's going hunting. And crucially, Owen Harris doing a fantastic job to maintain P7 as car 36. That is Coppins with a stop and go for speeding in the pit lane. Now Clayton holding steady, but not seems to have got past Johnny Sharp yet. Sharp brothers having a great time in the top 2 rows of the grid, and it does look like their stub, carrying very much a quali setup with a lot of downforce, is holding these up at the moment. Did a great job in the early part of the race to pip these positions, but in actual race trim, he does seem to be dropping off the leaders. So he just has enough top end speed dialed in to see off the challenge from Sharp for now. Oh, and around down the inside Serpentine, he's getting muscled out through Chapel onto the hanger straight. Got very battered BMW of Gedman just behind now. I've got Chris Gedman down the inside. No, it's the Ferrari of Gibino. Get into a bit of a bus stop coming into Vale. A little bit further up, this is Hanley trying to see off Alpha Dawi and Marshall. I don't see Alpha Dawi in the picture, to be honest, so I wonder where he's gone. So he's the one leading this. He has skipped through and got ahead of Hanley. Race super tight on the back of Townsend. Now if you want to Porsche for anywhere on track, it's this corner here. Coming out of Woodcote. And he has got a great launch. We can just get out from underneath him. With the Porsche being one of the weakest on top end speed. He's going to be holding in the slipstream for as long as he can. Through Copps. Oh, and what a move! Got a great exit. And made the move into Maggots. And now down the inside. Going into Stowe, as Coppersil's just seeing off any sort of challenge from Cobbitts, but Cobbitt's still there. We can stick with it. He'll have the inside for Vale. Coppersil strong on the brakes, holds on to it. Now for the lead, Johnny Sharp has really caught up with Vidler now. Brought his tyres in. Now the man soloing it in the Honda. obviously you'd assume he's a bit down on tools here to actually fight Vidler, but obviously his never-ending commitment to the cause that is the NSX is paying dividends right now. He's right on his gearbox. We will rejoin that battle with due haste. Oh, as we head on with Kalugin, he's wide, and we've got BMW wide as well. That will be Gedman, who rejoins safe enough. Gives a little squeeze to Thacker just behind him. And Cherry Moore just behind. Going to try and go down the inside of the Ferrari of Thacker there. As who's going to get boxed in by the BMW? So far it looks like it's going to be Thacker over the inside line. And this winding corner on Woodcote and Luffield. Looks like Thacker's got this one covered for the moment. Now picked up Smets towards the back. And Dunn is just as close to Felix. 3 monster engines. About to try and make it to Maggott and Beckett. The Mercedes Dunn pulls out. Will that compromise him through Chapel? Now there's a bit of a stall battle up ahead with Silver and Davis. We have the Aston Martin just behind, but Bennett ducking and weaving. Is he going to try and make a move on Smets on the inside? Just about gets his nose out of the way before Smets cuts it off. Now Kruger diving down the inside. No, it's getting overtaken by Basler there. Gedman looking a lot worse for wear. Thacker capitalise. This section here with the steady streak. Oh, where's Gedman gone? He's off on the grass. Will that get Thacker through? Oh, Gedman just about slowed it down, but that didn't help Thacker one bit. Now Cherry Moore goes around the outside. Can he get 2 in 1? Or is Overeem going to set Thacker back through? Thacker is coming. And looks like Cherry Moore is going to get Gedman unless Gedman can keep up the grunt. And Gedman has to back out multiple positions there. And through goes down Mark Davis, or does he? He's gone a little bit deep. Can he find the steering angle through Luffield and into Woodcote? Just ushers Thacker out, but then chooses 200 tight line, has lost his minimum speed of the corner, and that allows Thacker to keep hold of that one. As now the rain comes, track started dry. Dreadlock Steve's got a lot to think about here. We've got Kelleher ahead of him. It's essentially P5 in his class. But he's got a very motivated Kalugin behind him. Now everybody's just trying to keep it on the island to a certain degree, but people see opportunities, they're going to go for it. Track's still bleeding as greasy, so dry tyres is still the way to go, and I don't think we are going to see a wet tyre towards the end of this one, but they'll be wanting it if they could just have it with a click of their fingers. As this track just gets worse and worse. How about that? What about Kalugin? He's used a bit of the rumble strip on the outside, found a bit of extra speed, and round he goes, Dreadlock Steve. Great move, great anticipation. Always we've got issues in the back. And that's Eden, who's, I'll quote some Jack Prentice, who's fallen some strife. Owen Smet onto the back straight. Watches his competitor Mornweg go wide and on the grass. I don't think he'll find much speed out there. But he's still side by side, but Smets is going to see this one off. He's got the inside line. And he goes into Brooklands with all the confidence in the world. Now Thacker will feel that Cherry Moore has got this through fortunate circumstance. But it doesn't look like he's got the pace for him right now. There we go, got Serpentine on Grace. Silver on Pro. How's your brakes, lads? Can Serpentine keep it tight? The way the track falls away does favour the car on the outside. Serpentine, wily old fox. Facing Scott absolutely perfectly, but there's a small slip from Grace there. Serpentine's going to take the wide line. He's going to take Handley with him. Now, question is, would you consider that an unfair overtake? He definitely used the off track to gain the speed for the position. Well, that's a matter for the stewards, and he's going to go chasing Marshall. Now, Jeremy Miller, we didn't mention, this started P20. He's used to doing last to first challenges, but with just the pro drivers ahead of him now, this is a much greater challenge than thinking to the last of the AM drivers from the reverse grid race. And what can he do? The first overtake we're going to see him attempt tonight will be one of the pro tier drivers, but he's not quite there yet. Oh, as we catch Alpha Dowie going very wide at the exit of Cops. To phase fancy his chances. But Serpentine has quickly passed Morgan Grace. He's caught Marshall. Marshall hasn't got the best exit through Chapel. And Serpentine looking like a man possessed. And they've got lap back markers. Oh no, that's Alpha Dowie. Alpha Dowie must have had an issue. Oh, and what a switchback Serpentine attempts. Marshall, a bit slipping around the curb, but Serpentine got himself fully ahead. And that's a great bit of driving from Serpentine. And that's Nicky Weeks overtaking Colpitts. Colpitts fancies the old switcheroo. They do a drive through to be in the pit lane. And that's for Jay Handley. Oh, that's such a shame. He was driving really well. I suspect he's got damage and that would have affected him coming into the pits.
Leaders on the final lap now.
As we get leader on the final lap, that's Vidler. He just seems to have pulled away from Sharp now. It was looking very close for a while, but it looks like Sharp didn't have himself set up for the wet. As we see car 44 there, and all sorts of bother. Redlock Steve. Oh, he's going to cover her. He's going to tell you what, he's earned this if he gets it. It is absolutely torrential now. Visibility is going to become an issue through some of the trickier sections of the track. And that's Alpha Dowie overtaking Marshall. A relatively routine one. Oh, not too routine. He's gone wide of Cops. But Morgan Grace trying around the outside of Maggots. Marshall covers that bit off. Townsend looking feisty on the back of that. Now, Clayton will be thinking, this, the last person I need to see behind me is Jared Vermeulen in the wet in his favoured gold Ferrari. Oh, and Clayton has a bit of a slip. Does this invite Vermeulen down to the inside? Of course it does. Colpitts are going to try and turn in, hang it out. Probably felt wasn't allowed much space, but as long as it's enough space, Vermeulen will take that and do it legally. There's Townsend going wide. Off club corner. Dreadlock Steve still very much after his man, clearly very close at one point.
The leader has finished the race.
As we say, well done to Vidler, but it does look we have a battle to cover back here. And Colpitts probably not happy. He's lost that position to Wheats. As Vermeulen does make a good recovery drive, finishes P5. And Owen Harris wins the AM tier, actually beats the silver tier drivers to boot. We've got Nicky Wheats coming home, P10, P2 overall. And Hayes always got a challenger on his hands. It looks like he's been pushed by Alpha Dowie. Can he see it to the line? But Alpha Dowie's there. Oh, and he's going to slide across the line. Oh no! Oh, we'll have to see how that finished. And then we have Keller coming over the line. Cherrymore just tracking down. Is that Dreadlock Steve? So we lost Thacker and all. Oh, Thacker's got well past. Got Smet on the back of Davis as it comes to the line. Davis seems like he's limping a bit. But I think he's just going to make it. Everybody are choosing to test the pit wall on their way in. I'll get that information for you very shortly, Mr. Brown. The number of cars that did retire went to the pits. Done not appreciation of the Great British weather. And we should have a classification anytime now. Come on, Don, let's try and finish this. You can still beat all of these drivers. And the drivers do start to leave in anticipation for the reverse grid. So Dunn limps his Mercedes over the line, and I think that'll be everybody. And there we have it. So boy, we go through positions again. You did see them as they were called across the line, but our winners are, our podiums are Vidler, Sharp, and then Sharp again for the Pro tier. And then we have Harris, Wheats, and then FaZe for the Am tier, which actually in the end overall beat the Silver tier. And then we have Desire, leader of the Silver tier at the moment, P8, who beat off Colpitts and Serpentine for the podium, and actually put a few other tier drivers between him and them. So I'm quickly going to grab the highlights. I'm also going to grab information I said I'd get from Brown. So 75% would be 8 or more. So just Coppins the discount, Brown. Confirm if you heard me, Brown. Just Coppins the discount. And yeah, just Coppins. So I'm going to back out from the session now. And I'm going to show you those highlights from what was a very entertaining race 1. So I'm going to leave you with these pictures, and I'll bother your eardrums in a few minutes when we have got the call for race 2 to be started. So you guys not far away now. Let me know if you enjoyed that one, if you're one of the drivers. I know a lot of you do tune into this and obviously we'll watch it back. Obviously we've got some footage here, but as we just got a notification, the server is back. Nope, no we're not. Oh, the driver's jumped the gun. With Jabino making a lovely move around the outside of Keller through the club. So Jabino is going to get involved once again. That's him just behind. How did this transpire? So must make some sort of mistake. No idea. Driving on Muta Heymans, pro on Am. So it should be fairly routine. This is coming a long way back. This is a move to be made. We're back to the start again. So everybody, if you are watching, obviously it's not always just me. Normally we do have two commentators for this, but obviously everybody outside of sim racing does have lives they have to attend to. As we do get the real message of servers now live. So we're going to obviously prioritise and go to join that. Oh, is it? Ultimately conflicting information. Ah, there we go. Wouldn't be Silverstone without at least some weather drama. So yeah, cruise everybody. Obviously what we've got here is just a short practice session to give the drivers an opportunity to rejoin. And then what we're going to get is a reverse grid of all drivers that finished 75% of all the racing laps. From what I saw, that was everybody but Coppens, who went back to the pits after initial damage. So what that means, the driver that finished last, having completed all of those laps, will now get the opportunity to start on pole. This presents a rather unique challenge, obviously having all the clean air ahead of you, not having to battle in the pack, to see if, given the opportunity of some open air, if your pace can actually keep you away from those charging from the back. Now, obviously with the very mixed qualifying we've already had, the positions for the qualifying already set up a grid that's already very mixed. The drivers obviously heading out now. There's a lot of people on track getting used to these conditions. Obviously, ACC is one of the many games that FRL chooses to tout and have a community engagement for. Also includes Assetto Corsa, soon to be Assetto Corsa Evo. We're looking into Rensport, Project Motor Racing just around the corner. There's Gran Turismo, iRacing. Yeah, FRL is really just your one-stop shop for all things online sim racing. So make sure you get involved. If you're new, pad, wheel, doesn't matter. If you can race clean and fair, FRL will have you. I'm absolutely sure about it. That's why we have the tiered leagues to give everyone an opportunity, not just to face everybody that they've got a chance to face, or would normally have a chance to face, but really see how some of the top tier drivers that are around, what they can do. Obviously, if you've been with us for a while, if you've not already done so, make sure you hit like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Make sure you don't miss any of the action. Follow us as if it was a genuine real life championship. Trust me, the storylines do follow. It's well worth keeping on board with. You can catch all of the championship standings on SimGrid underneath Formula Racing League, SimNet Super Sprint Sunday. So let me know in the comments. Did anybody surprise you there? Were you caught up in any incidents, any worries? Do you think Sprint 1 was more favourable for you, or do you reckon you've got more opportunities in Sprint 2? I suspect that will move around depending on what tier you're in and obviously what did in fact happen in race 1. I said I do apologise if you do happen to catch me yawning. I'm an avid motorsport fan, and me and my family did get up at 20 to 4 to watch Vegas Grand Prix. You wouldn't hear any spoilers out of me. I lived in a house with nothing much under 4 conditions. I know the pain. As we see Trevor Mendes starting from pole. And crucially, Jared Vermeulen starting in P35, so a few further positions than he's used to having. Now with these wet conditions, obviously you do have a bit more time in the race to get these positions made up. A 2-minute lap, you're probably looking maybe about 21, 22 laps. We'll see who can make the most of those 22 laps. Either stay where they are, like Mendes is going to want to, or to move forward, like most of the pro drivers. Now we do have some pro drivers positioned quite high up the grid in Hanley and Eden there. That's going to be quite crucial for actually 2 cars with a very high top speed, so that they can get a load of free time just going down the hanger straight. Then that'll be music to their ears. Just bear with me, it's got a bit nippy in this room. Just going to give myself some insulation. And we are not far out now. It's 1 minute and 20 seconds before we have the rolling start, just as you had before. Now naturally, obviously you start slower drivers respectively in front of faster drivers. Obviously it can instigate There's a higher chance to instigate, I should say, incidents, as often the faster drivers can be a bit more optimistic with their moves and maybe catch an AM driver unawares. As the on-track commentator is not appreciating that we have another series going on. We should be announcing Trevor Mendes
20 seconds
as our pole sitter. We're giving him an interview on the grid.
seconds.
That's all we know so far. Is it's going to rain for the first 15 minutes and reduce a little bit. So I suspect wet tyres are going to be on. If the admins have successfully done a wet to dry race, we may still get some pit stops yet. It is not out the question. You can be approximately about 10 seconds up faster on slicks. As you immediately get a switcheroo of positions at the front. A bit chaotic for which side people are choosing. What is going on? All the same, we're going to approach the line. Mornweg trying to show his nose nice and wide, but we all go. And you can see Handley straight away diving down the middle of two cars. Trevor Mendes loses the lead immediately. Vereth has slipped through in the Audi, as is Mornweg. Actually, no, not quite done yet. Mornweg's still going to have to fight it through maggots, and he does so. I think Eden and Handley got a bit bogged down in the pack, but Eden, crucially, has got ahead. And we already have cars falling down. Car 31 hasn't changed on my timing screen yet. And that's Silver. Oh, such a shame. And car number 3 of Basler. Eden already on the back of Dunn. I think there's a better car straight line speed in this game than the Lexus. It's light, it's got great acceleration, and it's got great top end speed, but and now it looks like Handley's also managed to make that position upon Dunn. So Dunn free falling through the top positions, but he's still wise about it. If he can get this around the outside, yes he can. He's going to keep this one from Handley just a little bit longer, but Handley does seem to have got better drive. He's not going to have the racing line. He's going to be forced over the curb and an attempt to give space. Dunn gets bogged down on the outside, and this is going to invite Gedman long through it, and he's going to take the extreme inside lines. 3 into 1, does it go? But I think the Ferrari there of Cherrymore forced over the curb. Now side by side with the Mercedes of Dunn. It did look like Gedman got through nicely, but not too nicely because Dunn's coming back at him. They turn in, they touch, but doesn't suit Dunn. He had to correct and has gone offline, gone off track through Cops. But now Cherrymore around the outside. Almost like he had a sniff at Gedman there. But now Gedman's ahead and clean air. If he can just ace Chapel down the hanger straight, he should be king. Push it up ahead. This is Handley on Mendes. He must have put incredible top speed into that Ford. Handley looking at a man on a mission because Eden already up the road. He also makes a 2-horse fight for the lead between the pro drivers. They have to make positions a little bit quicker because Eden is. And now as we drop down through the grid, there. Let's see, it's got ahead of phase already, so that position is just waiting to be updated. And that's Richings wide. Can he rejoin in the position he left? No, he can't. Oh, and that is showing more backwards before getting to the loop. Here we go, Hanley. From Aintree all the way down to Brooklands. Gets on the brakes nicely. And sees off Mornweg. But crucially, Eden has now found himself in the lead. He's cleared Vereth. How quick can Hanley get onto the back of the Audi of Vereth? You also have Mendes, who's stayed nicely with this group. Let's not ignore his presence in this. And here comes, here he goes. Didn't really angle for the outside, but he does seem to have set Vereth on a wider line. If he can get traction up Stowe into Vale, tries it around the outside, he's going to find himself to the inside here. Does he get through? Goes Hanley, not quite. Vereth on the outside line has found good traction, but then he slides on the curb on the outside, and this should be advantage Hanley. As now they go through Village, I see Marshall in the background getting all out of shape. And now he's got Gedman ahead of him. An awfully wide line there. Can he get it stopped before the corner? Just about. Then Dunn swoops around the outside. And Marshall fancies another move around that side, but then he goes over the curb. Now Dunn with a better run. Dunn with a fantastic run. Gedman struggling. Oh, as it touch sends Gedman into a bit of a slide. And he loses 2 positions there, 3 positions maybe. Thacker's going to sense an opportunity. Cars swarming all over Gedman now. But Jabino looking more likely. He's got ahead of Thacker in that process. Now Gedman falling back again. It looks like Thacker's... So Jabino's going to make this one. Round the outside of Maggots. Brilliant move. Seen a few of those tonight. Let's have a check-in with the lower part of the grid. Barnett is closing in on phase. It's not quite in his gearbox yet, but oh, look at this. Kruger leading a 2-car battle of Townsend. And that's not Harris, though. That's Davis, I believe. Townsend has to defend on the Ford. Harris looks on. We haven't seen too much progress from Mr. Jasmine as of yet. You can just make out Harris in the background. But SimNet's a bit worse for wear. Oh no! From the comments! Commenter's curse. just commented. Keller into the wall. There goes Sharp. Does he fancy it down the inside? No, he just pulls out to show his nose. Ferrari on Ferrari. It's not going to be quite that easy. But he just seems to set him up here. He's taking a wider line. Just coming out of Woodcote. I think Cops, not usually a move made here. We've seen a few people make moves early, but not quite legally. Oh, but look at this ahead. Barnett phase alongside Lino, sorry. So Lino actually has overtaken Barnett. It must have been a great move that we'd missed. Look at this, 3 wide going into Stowe. Colpit defending for all his might. Serpentine going to try and move around the outside. Who is that? P10, that's Mendes. So Mendes losing quite a few positions in the last few corners. Out of sync with the timing screens by some margin. And Vermeulen making great progress. He's up to P11. Remember, he started from about P35. And he's going to try one here. Position himself removed on the inside. Now he always does say you take the good with the bad with reverse grid racing. It's a risk. But he's not willing to risk it just yet. Jamie Thacker. I say he's going to lose a lot of curb here. Gedman, what will Gedman do? Gedman looks to defend from both. Oh no! Now Vermeulen on the grass and wide, loses the positions that he spent so long trying to gain. Still a long way yet to go though. He's made good progress. We're just 10 minutes in. Now Thacker, after all of that, now has got Gedman in his sights. Round Cops he goes. Now Colpitts has got a sniff. A bit of a BMW sandwich going through Maggots and Beckett's. Colpitts almost pushing him along, and then gets pushed along himself. Serpentine, and he's now in the middle of the track. Absolute chaos here, guys. Come on. Look for the yellow flags. Listen to your engineer. Don't crash into it. Colpitts does a good thing, gets out of the way, and rejoins in the path of Popsill. Come on, guys. Let's reflect some. As we go on board with Jabina and Marshall. Jabina making a great move into Vale. Marshall, I'm not sure if he's flashing because he thinks he's done something wrong or he just thinks there's a move coming for him. But in all of that, Marshall has now dropped into the clutches on Mournweg. It's crucial for Jabino though, that's P2 in class, actually P1 in class. Big moves for big positions. Oh, well, about to jump off Serpentine, but here he goes on the back of Thacker. He did get a few free positions in the exchange to Maggots. I might get another one here because Vermeulen has just sent Gedman a little bit wide. Going through Brooklands. So here he goes again. Is there a wider line? Is there a tighter line? Closes open the inside through Village. Can Colpitts keep it on? Gedman, sorry. Can Gedman keep it on? Cops, sorry. Now Jabino, look how quickly he's found Handley. So now Silver looking to make a move on Pro, and Handley's gone deep. This might be quite easy for Jabino in the end. The grunt of the Ford saving him just for now. But I suspect as they go through Club, Vale. Now Handley wide again. Just no rear-traction on that Mustang. And he's had him bleed time to Eden. And now through goes Jabino. So we've got flurry of Ferraris mixed in with BMWs. Not quite a train appearing here, back from Vereth. So we have to wait for time screens to update because I don't think this is quite right. Townsend finding a tight line on Kruger, but Kruger with a wide line finds traction on the exit, but now he's putting in the clutches of Sharp. Sharp, who podiumed in the last race, wants to come back and do a drive through. He dives to the inside, a little bit of a touch, but then it has to lift off and avoid. Oh, there's a look at the aggression from Townsend. That's absolutely fantastic. So there's not a chance you're sending me back into a side-by-side battle. I'm taking this back. Cox goes to Vereth, and it looks like Haymans lights the sight of Gedman. For a moment it looks like he might have made the dive through Maggot that so many have been making tonight in the slippery conditions. Now we saw Townsend defending brutally through Luffield and Brooklands, but can he keep it up? We're now coming onto the hangar straight, and it looks like Sharp has already pulled to his outside. He's got slipstream from Alpha Dowie ahead as well. Mullen has currently made it up to P6, but with the gap that Eden's got, Mullen's still got a lot of work to do. Leno dropping a little bit back from this well, but I think that means he's got past Faith. But look at this, this is Haymans around the outside of Vereth. It's like he's driving on a different surface. Just found grip where nobody else could. There are still signs that rains will reduce. There you go, hits Johnny Sharp again. We saw him line this one up last lap. Ended up going deep. Townsend defended harshly. Takes a bit of a dive. So it backs out of it and then dives again. If this works out, that's great tactics, and Townsend off himself. Does that bring Townsend under pressure? Yes, it does. This is Basler. We can just close off the angle. Going around Woodcote. Jerome Mendes, who started on pole, is now behind Harris, who's up to P26. That is a few gain positions from where he was on the grid, but he's clearly having a hard time catching up to Wheats and Smets for the time being. He's been hovering around the midfield for quite a lot of this race. does have Barnett not too far ahead of him. And he's making him go defensive on the straights, which is always an advantage. So some quite stable gaps now. Drivers midway point through the race, not taking too many gambles. You say that as Mornweg just sent a cone into the stratosphere. Now to P4. Really sharp, probably getting quite frustrated after Dowie here. They are quite similarly paced. You should expect some of the sharp end of the grid from race 1, but placed in the midfield scrap. They don't seem to have everything their own way. And Sharp's got a great move. He's going to go to the inside. There's a long run down this straight all the way to Luffield. McClunn's even. Oh, but can Alfredau do a switchback? It's on. The speed he had the angle, but I don't think he's quite got the tyres. Here's Popsill on Townsend. Vidler not too far behind as well. Vidler and Basler on the attack. Because of that, Vidler has slipped through. No coordination of shared position gains there. So under threat from Vidler. I think he's got this one covered inside of Stowe. So that back on Popsill and through goes Basler. No, through goes Vidler on Popsill. It doesn't look like Basler is interested. Sharp having dispatched Alpha Dowie. Now wants a few more scouts to bring himself up. He is equivalent to P4 within his tier, but these are all real racers. They want to go up as high as they can. Doesn't matter if they give them a bicycle to try and get around this and get some points, they'll do it. So competitive. P2 in class. Says he's having to do quite a lot of defending, so he's got stack up all over the back of him. And just behind that, there's a Sharp making up more positions. There's Barnett, he's got rid of for now. Or has he? Turning into the Essex section. It looks so similar, those sections head on, you'll have to excuse me.
We're at the halfway mark.
As we have a car off, car 79. That's Gedman in the wars. Doing Maggots and Beckett's. Trying to find the closest battles for you all. All the drivers so far being very, very respectful. The done is not finished yet. You could say he's done. He's not done. So we've got about 20 minutes left of this race. Vidler wants to put one of his damn cars between him and Popsicle because he's under threat. And maybe, just maybe, Townsend with the extra speed that he's just found there can get past Kruger and maybe make themselves not the sacrifice. But Vidler goes for a audacious move around the outside. Popsicle loves it, goes back for the outside. But the most recent laps, they got washed out here. By the roadblock, Mormag has become. I mean, he made those positions, he's earned it, but he's got quite a train following him. In the commentary box, keeps the entertainment ice cool but spicy all the same. Serpentine now signs up Marshall. This is her P2 overall. He's not letting go of the back of Mormag. He knows he's his ticket to go after Vereth. You can see just ahead of you there in the Audi. And then crucially followed in tow by this ultra long queue that goes all the way back to Basler. Shot making good progress. Not so much progress, he just jumps on our screen. Now going after AM drivers of Thacker and FaZe. Thacker and FaZe, we just obviously showed you that they're a very intense battle themselves. So we do wonder if that will have any interplay with how Shot goes about it. As just behind there, saw a car going off. I think that might be an Alpha Dowie. We're not looking too great. His car looks pretty beat up. We've got a couple of incentivised lower tiers behind you. Looks like Basler's going to finally make this move on Popsicle. And he's got it done before even getting to Maggots. Impressive stuff. Now this back here, 20 on downwards, seems to be the land of the all broken unwanted toys. So many cracks and scrapes, stuff in these cars. They are illegal unto themselves at this point. A mixed league, all unto themselves. Oh, just saw Dan Davis reappeared in a battle with Kelleher. Here comes Azar on Gedman around the outside. He's been waiting for this one. Gedman does well, even with damage. Slots his brakes perfectly. And then just hangs him out to dry. All in for the clutches of Dreadlock Steve in his Aston Martin. Just too far behind for now, but opportunity is a knock-in. But now Vermeulen in all of this is now nipped up into P2. He still needs to cut down about a second a minute to get onto the back of Andrew Eden, so that's 2 seconds a lap he's got to find to make this work. It's not out of the realms of possibility for him, we know that. This will be a very impressive one, as we did have Pro Tier drivers positioned in rather high up positions once the sprint was set. So we'll keep a distant eye from that. No, not unheard of at all, Mr. Brown. So not having let go of Vidler, but I think Vidler is just struggling with Desert Townsend. As he comes off the hanger straight, he does have a better run. So maybe I've not so much as cursed him as conjured something for him in the form of an opportunity. And Townsend doesn't fight it. He slots back inside. There's going a little bit of defence for Popster as well. This is a great run from Serpentine here. Can't quite remember where he started, but to even make it a possibility, he's got a smaller deficit. And that's just behind. We've got Marshall defending harshly. Coppen's still chasing down Darren Mark Davies. Yes, he is. Very different lines to what Davies is taking. So less controlled. Trying to build up speed to take on the Mustang. Coppen's having lost that position to Vidler. Allowing cars to get between him and his challenger. Vidler currently sat 7th place. All big important points. Don't anybody tell you any different. Barnett definitely goes to search of water. Popso needs to break the genie out of the bowl. Townsend is that the call. Oh, as we've got cars off ahead. Didn't quite get a good enough chance to see who that was. And then Wheat's behind. It's gone the long way around and gets. Well, that was a laps car, so no positions gained, but always crucial to get through lap traffic. The Alpha Down getting a bit frustrated with Daka's line of defence. Trying to pick out developing stories. Musa Heymans again isn't probably going to catch Vermeulen. He's streaked off into the distance. I've gone in search of Andrew Eden. Now it's been about 2 laps and Vermeulen has only gained 2 seconds in that lap, so at this rate he will not catch Eden by the end. But it's wet. Silverstone, anything can still happen. Kruger defending with all his might to Maggott and Beckett. So there's like Barnett is coming all the same. Then he goes to the extreme inside line. Hang it out. No, evidently a great move from Barnett. Now, these are following nose to tail, led by Townsend, Popsil, Basler, Kruger, Barnett, Wheats. See them all in your picture there. Back up to Popsil. This might be a rare opportunity for him on Townsend. All Townsend's really got to do is just ace the exit, which it does seem like he has done. Phase. Trying to approach Cops with some elements of confidence here. As he can clear Mornweg, he can start to chase Vera. He's not too far down the road, probably just entering Maggots and Beckett's now. Still going. I'm going to wait to see its conclusion as the exit. Maggots and Beckett's. I don't think it moves on here. What is on? Vidler. Looks like a move on the inside of Thacker. It's crucial for his chase. Vidler principally goes through, got his nose in first, but then Thacker, brave on the brakes, around the outside, keeps his nose in it. And now Vidler can go lay it on the brakes. But can he get the car stopped and turned? Yes, he can. Now he's going to be inside Fort Vale. And out she goes. Closing in on SimNet. Do you reckon they've met up, exchange over colour schemes? Movement I can see behind me. Tell you what, there might be from Wheats. Wheats dives down the inside, but he's going to find himself on the outside of the crucial part of the corner, but it doesn't matter. Thacker goes deep and Wheats sweeps right through. That's SimNet for that damage. Kelleher knows that. Probably a limited front end steering with damage that size. The car's just separating out towards the end, not too many moves being made. Nobody wants to throw it away. Look at this, Barnett, great on the brakes behind Basler. But traction on the Aston is not great. He's going to do it the old-fashioned way. He's going to have to just carry the speed and not have to rev the engine too much because the Aston does not like it. So far, Barnett has seemed quite sensible. I don't think we're going to see an obscure lunge from him. But it depends how desperate he gets. He's probably down to his last 3 laps. Gallagher still got the same distance between him and Smets. Not really gone too much this week, but Owen Harris on a limping Alpha Dawi. The last thing you need in a race like this is a misplaced pro tier driver who's going to challenge you for every bit of space and racetrack. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this has been going on for quite a while, the phase on Mornway. Just ahead, they can see the Audi of Vereth, and that is the win for the Amte in sight. The phase can just get near Vereth. What about Barnett? Was that the big move we were waiting for? No. Time is running out for these drivers. The weather is not going to come and save you. I think everybody has found their way back to an honest place. Crucially, well, Vermeulen, we really are pressed to catch this now. As you have a drive to a track limits of class 79. That's Gedman, so bad to worse for Gedman. Come on, Gala. I'm not meant to have any sort of favours, but we are willing you on here for P24. You've stared at the ugly back of that Mercedes for way too long. Smets just seemingly starting to feel the pressure. Slides wide down, it definitely looks like Gallagher's got to have a good run here. Is this the opportunity he's been waiting for? No, not quite. Suspects that Luffield is a fast corner that declines into a curve, and you're not going to be giving him space very easy around there. He didn't earn it on the way in. One stalemate to another, one leg to Vereth, but FaZe, Popper still enjoying the party. You can see Marshall just ahead. He's not unreachable, but some of these faster drivers need to make their way through Vereth. Vereth is not going to give up anything for free, not when he's leading this evening's race for the Amateur. Morway pulls out the big guns, tries to round it all the way around the outside. No, it wouldn't work. And actually, almost cost Morway. Might still cost Morway because the FaZe, who's been after this position for a long time, finds himself on the outside, gets the room, and now we've got Poppersill fancy to go as well. Poppersill is going to get 2 in 1. Oh, maybe not. No, he did. Got 2 into 1. Fantastic, great awareness from Poppersill to read the 2 cars ahead of him and predict where they might be vulnerable. So after another one around the outside, Zverev has proven himself to be difficult with these transitions. The question is how much traction can he get out of Chapel to make a run at the Audi. As we enter our final minute, we're going to get leaders starting the final lap any moment now. Should they make it round to there? It is looking vulnerable. Opposite to phases as well. We've got very consistent gaps going on now. Phase really, really determined to get this position back up Opposite. There's no real circumstance to him. He'd be the same place in class, only one position better off overall. And he almost gave a place up to Mornweg.
Alright man, the leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
As we are on the final stint here, Townsend flashing, he thinks he's got a move on Mornweg that's to be had. Oh, we've got car 36 off. Who's that? It's not one of the leaders. It's Coppens, and back to pits he goes. Didn't fancy seeing out the last lap. Phase. Well, it looks like there's been a triple swap there. Looks like Zverev is now dropped behind Phase and Popisil. Almost doing Magazine Beckett side by side. That's Mornweg and Townsend. Townsend backs out and looks like Mornweg has done a great escape there. What was there is an unfortunate evening through Coppens. Can he salvage something towards the end here? Maybe P20. Oh, look at Basler. Around Luffield, turning the outside way, where everybody's been defending. He split the script, gone around the outside, and now can he get his brake stopped? Challenge into this corner. He can. Off goes Townsend.
He's finished the race.
Almost. Through goes Hamilton from Barnett. He fancied a recreation or something there. As I say, well done to Andrew Eden, and obviously well done to Vermeulen as well for getting all those positions back. We're going to stay on board with our battles, and I think there is one occurring just in front of this. Zverev goes deep and into Phase. Phase will not be happy about that. He's going to fight it round the outside. And now Phase, having done that, has now lost the position to Mornweg. But will Mornweg also get past Zverev? Potentially a little bit easier. This one's not for position. Not the tiered position. As my cat's decided a battle royale next to me. Oh no! That's Phase going wide. What a disaster. What about Mornweg? Can he get this position off Zverev? Phase will be furious. Townsend, I'm sure, will be delighted. And he'll drag race the line and did not manage to get that one changed just before. And Barnett as well. Barnett's lost it and now struggling to recover. They're catching Barnett written knots towards the line. I don't think he got that one in the end. With everybody being so spread out, and it looks like Keller did eventually get Smets. We did miss it on the stream, but there you go. He did get him in the end. So I'm just going to get the highlights for you two guys to watch. Whilst I'm sure we might get one or two people come to join the comms box for a little bit of a chat. The game appears to be crashing on me. Let's exit and try again. Maybe I just did a bit too quick. Jazzman will be with us very shortly, I've been told. So there are your finishing positions. Andrew Eden managed to get position early on and see off the win, building enough a gap for Javelin Mullen to be unable to catch him despite carrying the fastest lap. Jabino wins silver tier from Surf and Tame, with Wouter Hamans taking third place in Pro. Johnny Sharp takes a well-deserved fourth place, travelling from the back. Marcolino in P3 in his class, but P7 on the road. Marshall in P8, Popsil in P9, and we have our winner of the AM tier of Vereth, then Mormeg and Balzer, P12, and then Townsend and Wheats join him on the podium. Got Vidler, who showed great promise early on, but I think got caught up in some a bit nasty. Then we have Kruger in P4 in the AM tier, then FaZe, Alpha Dowie, who just I think was either caught up in stuff or just never quite got going and caused a bit of a roadblock for everybody behind them. I'm about to mention, including Barnett, Desire, Thacker, Dreadlock Steve, Owen Harris, Kelleher, Smets, and Davis. Grace, I think, definitely hitting something. I think he must have gone back to pits. Cobbitts, Gedman was quite beat up. Trotman, P30, with Coppens, Richings, Silver. That's Silver we'd probably discount. He didn't complete enough laps. And those are essentially your non-finishers just down there. So I'm going to go to my replay, and I think we should have Mr. Jazzman joining us very, very shortly. And speak of the devil, here he is. Tough one for you, that. Not everything going your way this evening.
Yeah, no, I got a bit unlucky in qualifying. As I was starting my lap, it said greasy, so dries was the correct call. But then as I got into Maggots and Beckett's, it went damp. but then I'm committed, right? I look, it was a bit of a gamble. I was like, let's hope it stays greasy. But it wasn't the end of the world. Made the next race. Made the race pretty exciting, starting P20, and I got up to P5. So overall, the first race didn't really, only lost I think like 4 points overall. If I wanted to say, it wasn't a big deal. Race 2, that was that was a bit interesting. A lot of things to dodge. I got lucky with 2 of them, but the third one I didn't get lucky. I got hit from behind into the guy that was stationary. So I had 13 seconds.
Was that the one that we would have caught on stream through Beckett's?
No. I mean, the opening lap, I managed to miss all that. It was down, after, you got that Hamilton, got the straights, and then you got that right-hander, then you come to that finicky bit. In there was a moment with drivers, and obviously their cars are sideways. So, I slowed down, but guys behind me, obviously also tried to, but, it's a Constantinas, and then just bang, bang, bang. I managed to get through, but I lost a lot of positions that I gained. Lost like 6 positions. But the damage was 13 seconds, so it wasn't the end of the world in the wet. maybe costing me like half a second a lap. So it was nothing major. I think in the end, I'm just happy that I managed to get through everything and finish in P2. I tried to catch Eden, I really did, but he had a big enough gap and he had respectable pace. So credit to Eden on his win, congrats. And yeah, I mean P2 in the fastest lap, so I'll leave that race with 14 points. So denied to 25.9, so not the end of the world.
No, it was a good drive nonetheless, and obviously it's these sorts of drives where it could have been so much worse when the championship gets all counted up at the end, where you appreciate the gains that you made. Now, obviously, tell us about the track, because it might obviously inform us of what we saw. Was there much of a clean line? Could you do a lot of stuff offline?
In race 2, in race 2, the track was quite stable. It was just getting less and less rain. So you could go for moves. I mean, it was on wet, so you could go for, it wasn't wet, it wasn't too wet that if you go to the inside line, you have to. So that made the race quite enjoyable. I enjoyed the wet. Perfect, actually. It was wet enough. You could still do your moves. Race 1 was exciting, obviously, when there's 7 minutes of heavy rain on dries. And yeah, that was interesting. I mean, I was up to P4 on the last lap, but I was really desperate for P3, so I really went late in the brakes into the second to last corner to try and put him under pressure to the final one, but I just ran straight. So then Clayton got me back, and I was like, damn. But you know, if you don't try it, you don't know if it can happen. So.
Oh, absolutely not. Anyway, lovely talking to you as always. I unfortunately am on very little sleep after having woken up to watch Vegas.
So did I. Yes.
Credit to you for obviously doing that and actually having the concentration to run a race. Yeah, thank you as always. I'm just gonna see this out because I need to go to bed. I've got work in the morning, and I'm sure a lot of you do. And I hope you all the best in recovery from this very tough race this evening. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching FRL SimNet Super Sprint Sunday. It's a lot of S's. Obviously, do make sure if you liked what you saw, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any of the other sessions going live. For your support. If you want to get involved, make sure you drop a comment underneath this video, and an admin will reach out to you to try and get you into Discord and then onto SimGrid for any sign-ups. And if you are already involved, do consider signing up to the Patreon. It keeps all the lights on, and obviously you get all the perks like I mentioned earlier. Your own reserve race number, early access to events, your own Patreon practice server, and obviously many more, especially if you climb up the ladder. And we hope to see you all next week. Same time, 8 p.m, Super Sprint Sunday. Have a good evening, guys. Goodbye.